Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you guys on some more current latest news. So we know that Jose Mourinho for the January transfer window, which is not long away now, teams are looking to spend and bolster their squads, and as I currently said, Mourinho has got plans for the January transfer window. Reportedly there's been discussions with Ed Woodward and currently representative George Mendes about potentially plans for the January window. Jose Mourinho is in desperate need for the central defenders Jose Mourinho, but reportedly there has been talks going on between Mourinho and his representatives and currently Ed Woodward about plans for the January transfer window. Mourinho has actually suggested out to the board he wants a potential strong central defender and a highly experienced central defender as well. But reportedly now, Mourinho has been notified and he has been told that he can get the signing of Alderweireld in the January transfer window. Reportedly, he's a player that's reportedly now our #1 priority target, potentially because we have been linked with him before, Manchester United. And I think if he was to come to United, I think he'd himself very well. I think he's good in the air, he's tall as well. He's Alderweireld. I think all in all in the Premier League he's made 120 appearances and scored 6 goals all in all in the Premier League, and he has been in the Premier League a good 5 or 6 years now with Alderweireld. This is including his loan deal with Southampton as well. But you know, he's good, he's strong, he's quick, he's good in the air. He's a good strong tackler, he's a calm and composed defender. He can also play as a right back as well, but reportedly it could cost Man United in the region £40 million to get Toby Alderweireld in January. We know Mourinho's discussed about Tottenham Hotspur, you know, how reluctant they are, you know, to sell their top players, but if we had to put a bid in of £40 million in the January transfer window for Toby Alderweireld, obviously it cost us a lot less, you know, to get Toby Alderweireld than Koulibaly, because Koulibaly has been one of our #1 targets as well. But reportedly we'd have to make him the most expensive defender in the world, because reportedly we'd have to pay over £90 million to get Koulibaly. But obviously Mourinho's not too convinced about it because he reportedly he's too expensive, his Koulibaly. But Toby Alderweireld, I think he'd deliver the goods, as I said. You know, he risen up the ranks with Ajax. He's an ex-Atletico Madrid player as well, and he won titles with Ajax. You know, he won the La Liga with Atletico Madrid and got to the Champions League final. He's earned over 80 caps for Belgium. He's been a full international since 2009 as Toby Alderweireld, and now potentially he's at Tottenham Hotspur, as I currently said. And Tottenham know he's still one of their most essential players, but Man United all know, we're all aware that he has a 25 million release clause for next summer. But potentially if Man United are willing to put £40 million in, Tottenham will, you know, obviously profit from this. They'll make an extra £15 million in January, rather than let him go for cheaper next summer as well. And even if, you know, they do have the option to extend his contract by a further year, you know, obviously he's still going to have that 25 million release clause, and he's still going to be available for £25 million next summer. But it's essentially been a Manchester United target, because essentially we do need to strengthen up defensively, you know, because we have had injury problems this season. Lindelof's out, you know, we've had problems with Bailey and Smalling and Phil Jones and all that problems, you know, this season especially. And you know, Bailey could be going because he's hardly played this season. But Eric Bailey, same with, you know, Chris Smalling and all that. You know, Phil Jones as well. You know, we could see quite a few defenders go. So do you think Toby Alderweireld, you know, would fit the Manchester United agenda well? And I think he'd complement Manchester United fantastically well. He's done well, you know, during his tenure with Spurs. You know, he was good during his younger days. I think he's 6 foot as well, I think. I think he's about age 28, 29. He's Toby Alderweireld, but he's highly experienced. He's a highly experienced central defender. He can also play as a right back. And yeah, Mourinho's in the market for a highly experienced defender, as I said. So reportedly there has been discussions going on, and reportedly Mourinho is confident he can get a 40 million deal, make an agreement with Tottenham in January, and reportedly we have to pay £40 million for Toby Alderweireld. We was linked to him during the course of the summer because Man United Ed Woodward had been in talks during the course of the summer with Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham were demanding around, was it 60-70 million pounds? Man United probably thought it was far too much, so Man United were reluctant to pay that money. But reportedly Mourinho has reportedly been, you know, given, you know, the green light, and reportedly he's now allowed to go, you know, discuss things and sign Toby Alderweireld in the January transfer window. as well. But we know a potential other Manchester United target has been Koulibaly. Reportedly, if we ought to get Koulibaly over Toby Alderweireld, he'd cost an extra 50 odd million pounds more than Toby Alderweireld. But reportedly, he was our number one target, was Koulibaly. Reportedly, Napoli may be reluctant to sell him, but from Mourinho's perspective, he is too expensive. The most expensive defender at the moment is Liverpool's 75 million Virgil van Dijk. But potentially, Koulibaly, it said it could cost us 90 or over 90 million pounds to get the player, which would be the highest paid fee for the defender. I do really like Koulibaly. I think he'd adapt himself well. He's highly experienced in Italy with Napoli. He's Koulibaly as well, and he is a very good player. You know, he can play as a centre back, a full back, and he can play as a defensive midfield as well. He is under contract with Napoli to 2023. He's Koulibaly. And, you know, obviously, you know, if they were to sanction him off Napoli, you know, they'd make a huge profit because they only paid £7 million for him from Genk, and he's also an ex-Mets player as well. He's been recently nominated African Footballer of the Year as well. He made his senior debut for his international team, was it in 2015? But reportedly, it said Man United were in talks yesterday with Napoli over a £90 million move. For Koulibaly. Reportedly, Man United had been in talks because a couple of weeks ago, potentially it said Man United had put a bid in of around 80 million pound. Reportedly, Napoli had instantly turned this down. The Napoli president had turned this down, but I think he said he was keen on the move to the Premier League. I think he'd adapt himself well at Manchester United. He's quick, he's strong, he's good on the ball, he's good in the air. I think he's quite tall as well. How old is he? Is he 27, 28, or something like that, Koulibaly? But he's been another potential player that Manchester United have been linked with as well. So obviously, Jose Mourinho's looking to bolster the squad. He spent over £400 million, you know, since he's come to the club, or is it just under £400 million? You know, I don't think he's got the correct philosophy at Manchester United, you know, at this moment in time. Everyone questioned his style of play. And yeah, he spent over £400 million since he's been here. And we have spent a lot of money in all the managerial areas, you know, since Alex Ferguson retired. We have spent a lot of money. You know, we spent like £1 billion on players. You know, we've seen players come in. You know, we've seen players go. And reportedly, Mourinho's going to get a spending spree of around £100 million in the January transfer window as well to spend. But yeah, he's been in potential discussions with George Mendes about this and the United chefs about the plans for the January window. Obviously, he was frustrated during the course of the summer with Mourinho that he didn't get the signings he wanted. And I think since Mourinho's come in, you know, potential, I don't think we've been aggressive enough in the transfer windows. We've had Mourinho. We haven't got potentially the players that we wanted in. You know, potentially, as I said, I had concerns, you know, when Nemanja Matic came into the club, I had concerns about Matic as well, you know, because he's a static midfielder. And at that moment when we got Nemanja Matic, he was our third choice. He was our third choice defensive midfielder because we had other players that we could have got better than him. And, you know, I thought Nainggolan would have been better. You know, Fabinho would have been better because Matic doesn't complement them type of players. And Matic, I think, has been crap for us, especially this season. I thought he had a good game against Arsenal, but he wasn't our number one choice. You know, was it last year or so when we did sign him? I said I had concerns about him. Same with Romelu. I just don't think we've been aggressive enough in these transfer windows with Jose Mourinho. I know he spent a lot of money, but potentially we haven't got the players that we really wanted, as I currently said. But as I said, Mourinho always seems to discuss about what he's won and his history and all that. And we know he's had, you know, bad relationships, you know, especially with the top players, you know, since he's been here. You know, there has been rumours about him going back to Real Madrid, but potentially he had disputes with players at Real Madrid as well, did Jose Mourinho. We know he's a winner. We know he's got a good pedigree. He isn't doing it at Manchester United because he isn't meeting the expectations at Man United. And the expectation would have been, considering Mourinho's history, considering the history of this club, was to go challenge, you know, make us back competitive, make us a challenger for major honours, which we have failed to do, as I currently said. So, but I know in the last two games, the performances have really stepped up. If I'm going to be quite honest with you, but we've got to continue this consistency, and we have got to continue these performances. And potentially, Mourinho discussed about top four of the week. He says he wants the top four by the end of the year. It's very unlikely we're going to get top four now by the end of the year. Of course, and George Mendes, obviously, we know with the rumours of Mourinho leaving, George Mendes came out the other week with a statement saying reportedly he's happy at the club. Mourinho, the club's happy with him, he's fully committed to Manchester United. He mentioned his long-term contract as he updated you on, and George Mendes never really speaks, he never really publicly speaks about Jose Mourinho. I don't think he has a potentially good relationship with the club, does George Mendes, of course. But potentially Mourinho's been in discussions with George Mendes and the board about potentially getting a strong central defender in for the January window. And reportedly, Mourinho's allowed to get Alderweireld in the January transfer window as well. But as I said, a bit of team news going into Wednesday. That preview will be coming up tonight later on. Going into Wednesday, it's confirmed that Mourinho has basically said to Paul Pogba he has to match the mentality of his teammates, but he's going to show how good he is on Wednesday, so he's going to be starting against Valencia. I think Mourinho praised Andres Pereira, so Mourinho confirmed that Andres Pereira will be starting in the game as well. I do hope the 19-year-old Dalot does start on Wednesday night because he's put a good performance in the last couple of games. I thought it was fantastic against Fulham, and I thought he established himself well at that right back position. I thought he played very, very well, and Mourinho said he's physically very, very strong and technically very, very good. And I thought Ashley Young played very, very well against Fulham. Got a goal, got an assist, scored a great, great first goal, and potentially Mourinho usually plays him as a right back, but obviously was at left back in that game. But Ashley Young played very, very well against Fulham. Good to see Matt get a goal and get an assist, scoring his 50th goal in the English top flight and getting his 50th assist in English football as well. Juan Mata got a goal and got an assist. Romelu Lukaku got a goal and his first goal since March at Old Trafford, and potentially, good to see Rashford get 2 goals as well because he's been a Manchester United player since the age of 7. He hasn't been to his potential best this season, but in the last couple of games, he's really, really stepping up his Rashford, and he's still under contract here till 2020. He's got a good pedigree of scoring on his debut as well, and he is a good young age talent. He's Marcus Rashford, but Mourinho praised the performance, said it was a very, very good team performance, showed a lot of intensity with and without the ball. He said he saw some lovely 1-2 touches. He said that was very, very good when we had the ball. And the football at the times was absolutely fantastic to watch at the weekend against Fulham. But we know it's only Fulham. Let's not get too confident about it, as I said. But players, Lukaku's not in form this season compared to his first season. I think it's becoming frustrating with Mourinho. Romelu Lukaku, he scored 27 Premier League goals in his first season with Man United. He was very, very good in his first season, but this season he has struggled to hit form as well. Martial's been potentially our best player without a doubt this season. Let's be honest, he's been potentially our best player this season. Well, our best outfield player this season, to be quite honest with you. Martial's been our best player this season, as we all know. But obviously, we know we're in the knockouts for February. We're in the knockouts anywhere, so it doesn't really matter. But I think we could still potentially top the group if Man United beat Valencia and Juventus fail to beat Young Boys, as we all currently know. But yeah, as I said, Alderweireld can look likely in the January transfer window. Mourinho said how Tottenham reluctant that they are to sell their best players. But reportedly, it could cost us in the region of £40 million, and then this could persuade Tottenham to get rid of him as well. Obviously, we know we've still got Lindelof out. We've still got Sanchez out until January. Mourinho confirmed he could be out for a long time as well. Alexis Sanchez. He hasn't really developed into the squad at the moment. We're realising the lack of development in the team. And Sanchez hasn't really proven a point, but sometimes it takes players time, to settle in, at your club. As you all know, so Sanchez may need a bit of time. He said he told his friends the other week he wanted to leave Manchester United. Did Alexis Sanchez, but definitely He's on £500,000 a week, but we do definitely need an attacker up there to lead the lines with a Lukaku. We need a world-class striker that can score at least 20-25 goals a season. And I've seen Manchester United have great attackers over the years. Hernandez was fantastic. He was on 20-25 goals a season. Won a lot of individual awards. He won Silverware with Man United, and he was a great player. We need players at that calibre like Hernandez. We need players at that calibre. I'd loved Aubameyang at Manchester United. He's a great number 9. He played very, very well with Borussia Dortmund, did Aubameyang, and he's delivering the goods now. He's proven himself well in the Premier League, since he's come to English football, and he's doing very, very well with Arsenal as well. Orphanage, I don't mind Orphanage. I think Orphanage does very, very well for West Ham. I think he's a good, strong partnership with Javi Hernandez in the West Ham team, and potentially he's a player I've always liked. He's proven to be a prolific goal scorer in the Premier League. It come out quite a few weeks ago that Man United were interested in him, but then Man United ruled the move out for him reportedly. It could have Man United were, hoping to get a 50 million deal over the line for Marco Orphanage. Obviously, he's proven in the Premier League. He has been in the Premier League, is it not, what now, 5-6 years or something like that, and he has proven to be a good goal scorer as Orphanage. Obviously, Mourinho's worked with Orphanage in the past as well during his time with Inter Milan. I don't think he really played at Inter Milan, did Orphanage. He's played at FC20 in the past, and then Inter Milan, and then potentially, he was a regular at Werder Bremen, so he has played in Germany in past with Werder Bremen, and then potentially went to Stoke City. He went to Stoke City, and I think he was at Stoke, was he at Stoke 4 years, and then West Ham paid, was it £20 million for him from Stoke, and West Ham have had him just over a year. I think now Marquis Orphanage, but he is a good player. I think he'd deliver the goals and score us goals if he was to come to Manchester United. But potentially Mourinho's worked with him in the past as well. It did confirm the other week he actually wanted to leave West Ham. It was a month or so ago, and he wanted to play in Champions League football. Did Marco Orphanage and play amongst better players. His representative had confirmed he wanted to leave West Ham as well. But potentially, yeah. So we know there's been rumours of Mourinho leaving. We know he's changed the whole identity of the club since he's come to the club, and he's only won 3 trophies, since he's come to the club, and we're sitting in 6th, is it now? We're 16 points from top points behind top 4, and potentially that's our target this season, is to potentially get the top 4. There's people still out there backing Mourinho. People have questioned about his tactics and his current team selections. For me, he doesn't potentially know his best 11, as we all know, Jose Mourinho, but we know he's got a lot of potential targets, for January, as I said, and Alderweireld now, according to the press, could look likely to come to Manchester United. Man United are willing to pay £40 million. Mourinho's discussed this with the board and all this, and has come to an agreement. He's allowed to go and get Alderweireld in January, of course, and we have done deals with Tottenham players in the past. Berbatov, when we bought him, he came and delivered the good score, some good goals for us. Got Michael Carrick from Tottenham, was it in? When did we sign Carrick? Was it in 2006 or something like that? And he proved to be a great player for Manchester United, and great player, as I said. Where obviously he's retired now from playing football, but a great player, made over 3 century appearances in the league. I think won loads and loads of silverware with us. Did Michael Carrick, and I thought it was a great partnership, with Paul Scholes in that midfield. Was Michael Carrick, and he delivered goods when we purchased Carrick from Tottenham. And Tottenham have sold, quite a lot of the good players over the years, as I said. They got rid of Bale back in 2013. They got rid of they sold Luka Modric to Real Madrid as well. So they have got rid of a lot of the best players over the years of Tottenham Hotspur. But Mourinho is aware how reluctant Tottenham are to sanction their best players, because basically it's hard to do business with Tottenham Hotspur. As we all couldn't know, but as we all know, Real Madrid are well known for buying Premier League players, because they have bought 23 players since 2000 of Real Madrid as well. But I say, in terms of Alderweireld, I think he can deliver the goods to Manchester United. He's tall. I think he's highly experienced as well. I think is he 28, 29 years old? Alderweireld, I said he's tall. He can play as a centre back. He can also play as a right back as well. So I think he'd be beneficial. I think he'd dramatically improve us because defensively we do need to strengthen up, and we need a highly experienced defender. And I think he'd adapt himself well in the Manchester United team with Alderweireld, and his performances to Tottenham when he has been playing have been very, very good. So potentially that's the player Manchester United. Now, it's potentially our priority target. It was Koulibaly, but look at the fee. We have to pay over £90 million if we have any chance of getting coloured barley, but it'd only cost us £40 million for Tovi Alderweireld, so we'd save £50-60 million on getting Tovi Alderweireld over coloured barley. As I said, because obviously coloured barley is a great player, he's highly experienced and he's done well when happened, but he's never played in the Premier League as Tovi Alderweireld has played in the current Premier League, as I said. So but potentially Mourinho came out in the press and he did mention if City and Liverpool keep spending, potentially, it's going to be hard for us to challenge for the title. Mourinho says he doesn't know when we're next going to challenge for the title. He doesn't have any ideas, but we just know this team hasn't been the same team since Fergie left. We had 3 decades of success with him, won 13 Premier Leagues, 5 FA Cups, and 2 Champions Leagues and all that, and quite a few League Cups with Alex Ferguson. He had a great side, as I said, But this team is not comparable, to the team that Ferguson had. We know there's still some of the some of the players here from the Ferguson era. There's 2 of the players that Moyes got in still here, and there's some of the players that Van Gaal got in that are still here as well. Van Gaal got 12 in, 6 of them departed. There's still 6 of them here, as we all currently know. But yeah, we've got a lot of players coming to the end of the deals as well. So the board and the owners need to focus on that as well. I hope Herrera's deal, because I think Herrera's been quite good this season when he's played this season, to be quite honest with you. Early on in the season, he really wasn't making first team appearances. He was coming on as a substitute. Same with Juan Mata. I think he's a very good, consistent player, Juan Mata. I hope he signs a new deal as well. Does Juan Mata. So we have got a lot of players coming to the end of the deals, of course. But yeah, as I was saying yesterday, the other central defenders that Manchester United are linked with is reportedly Milan Skriniar. He's been another potential Manchester United target as Milan Skriniar. Very good central defender, Milan Skriniar. He's only young, he's 23 years of age, so obviously you compare Koulibaly, older than him, Tovi Alderweireld, older than him, but Milan Skriniar, he's reportedly rated at £70-75 million. I think he's got 4 years left on his Inter Milan deal. A few teams have been interested in Milan Skriniar because Inter Milan are under financial fair play regulations. They have to offload a couple of their players, obviously to avoid financial fair play sanctions, and looking to invest money into the club. And Inter Milan, I don't think, can officially buy players in January. They can officially buy them next summer, but I think they can agree to buy players in January, but I don't think they can officially get them till next summer. Obviously, they've got a new director in called Beppe Marotta now of Inter Milan, as we all know, but Milan Skriniar can play as centre-back. I think he can play as a full-back as well. He can play as centre-back and a defensive midfielder, can Milan Skriniar. Inter Milan paid £20 million for him, I think, from Sampdoria. And it was Slovakian's best under 21 player back in 2016 was Milan Skriniar as well. But reportedly there's a few teams that have been interested in him as well. It came out in the press yesterday regarding that Porto central defender. I can't pronounce his name. It said he was an alternative, so he isn't potentially a main priority target. I think he's called Ede Metello, or something like that. Reportedly, Man United were interested. Reportedly, he's got a release clause of around £45-50 million. He's under contract with Porto, I think, till 2023 is the player. I think he is only 20 years of age, so he is still in his prime, is the player, reportedly. And it said, and we know he's been in the senior team quite a few years now. He's an ex-Sao Paulo player. He reasoned up ranks for them for like 7 years in their youth academy, got into the senior team, and now he's currently at Porto, is the player. So reportedly Manchester United have showed an interest in him as well. But as I said, Mourinho, you can't compare Mourinho to the likes of Pep Guardiola at the moment, Jurgen Klopp or Unai Emery at this moment in time. Mourinho's nowhere near on the same level, as I said, as their managers. Mourinho is nowhere near on the same levels as them managers, because Pep Guardiola's got a good pedigree. Mourinho's got a good pedigree, but he's not doing it at Manchester United. And Pep Guardiola emulated the football he did at Barca and Bayern Munich, and he's doing it at Manchester City. We know they lost to Chelsea, but they will bounce back because they have got a great squad. City, they have got a few injuries. They've got Kevin De Bruyne out. He's due to return soon. Obviously, they had Aguero out, so they did have key players out for that Chelsea game, did Manchester City, to be quite fair. But they've scored over 40 odd goals is it this season, and Pep Guardiola's won 24 trophies in his career, broken records. All currently know, and Jurgen Klopp's doing very, very well with Liverpool. They spent the most money in the last summer window, £170 million they spent in Liverpool last summer, and Jurgen Klopp's got, he's bolstered the squad. Defensively look very, very good as well, the Liverpool, and they're a very, very good side this season. Potentially they've never won the Premier League. That is their main target this season, Liverpool's. They should try and win the Premier League title, and I think they've got a great chance this season. Have Liverpool, to be quite honest with you, but they've got a great chance because they have got a lot of world-class players out there with Liverpool, and Arsenal, they're playing very, very well, 21 games unbeaten. They look a total different side under Unai, as I said, and I said Mourinho's becoming a replica of what Arsene Wenger did, especially in his last stages of his managerial career with Arsenal. I said they had good 12 years out of him, but then Arsenal fans started wanting him out because they went years without any silverware, and he was failing to get the players he wanted in the transfer markets, was Wenger. And especially in the last stages of his managerial career, Arsenal fans, wanted him out. But I said Arsenal look a total different team under Unai. Unai is a very, very good manager. I still think he needs a couple of, as I said, a couple of transfer windows to bolster their squad up even more. They have got good players. I think Torrente is very, very good. He's going to attract the interest of a few teams as well, is that Torrente, because he's been performing very, very well for Arsenal as well. I credit him. He looks a very, very good player. Lacazette and Aubameyang are fantastic for Arsenal as well. Proven goal scorers. Lacazette, did well with Lyon. Aubameyang did well with Borussia Dortmund. And now they've both come to the Premier League, and they're both scoring great goals. As I said, they're in a different league to Romelu Lukaku at the moment because they're faster. They've got that finishing asset, and Romelu Lukaku doesn't have much tempo to his play. We know he's well proven in the English. We know he's proven in English football. He's proven to be a prolific goal scorer, but obviously everyone questions about his first touch, and he bottles it in the big games. And we know he's proven to be good for Belgium. He scored 45 goals for Belgium as Romelu Lukaku. He's been playing senior football, since the age of 16 as Romelu Lukaku, as we all currently know. And he wasn't a regular for his first season, when he was at Chelsea, Romelu Lukaku. But hopefully Lukaku's actually come out in the press, and he's admitted as Lukaku that he's had discussions with Jose Mourinho. Lukaku, to be fair to him, from his own perspective, he's admitted Lukaku that he does need to improve. He does need to get better. So Lukaku's admitted this. He needs to get better. He needs to improve. And he needs to help the team win. And to be fair to Lukaku, he admitted this, while he'd been in talks with the manager. He said he needs to improve. He needs to get better. And he needs to try and score more goals and help the team win. And he knows he hasn't been that consistent this season. He knows he's been in the lack of form, and he says his form needs to progress better. He needs to try and get in better form and try and score more goals and help the team win. As I said, but I thought he had a good game against Fulham, did Romelu Lukaku. As I said, but potentially Man United have missed out on a lot of targets. Let's be honest, Man United have missed out on a lot of targets. Griezmann would have been very, very good, highly experienced. Also has a good friendship with Paul Pogba. I'd have loved Griezmann, to come to the club. As I said, I'd have loved Griezmann to come to Man United. World-class player, has that finishing asset, prolific goal scorer. I think he'd have fulfilled number 7, or if he can play at number 9, or we could have put him in number 7. He'd have been really, really good to come. I know it cost us a lot of money, but it would have been worth it. But we didn't get him due to Atletico Madrid's transfer ban, so we failed with Griezmann. We've heard rumours about Bale. For the last, we've been linked to a Bale, since the David Moyes era. We've been interested in him. The rumours are going round at the moment about Man United getting Gareth Bale. He is now, I can't remember how old he is. I can't remember how old Bale is. But, he's a good player, when he does play. But obviously he's injury prone, and that would concern me. He's Premier League proven. He's Gareth Bale. I think if he was to ever come United, he'd still improve us. But he is aging up now. He's Gareth Bale, and he's potentially a player that Man United have been linked with. Since the David Moyes era, we've been linked with him. We've never got a deal over the line for Bale, but he's proven in the Premier League, and good for Wales as well. And recently ranked Southampton. And how long was he at Tottenham for? Was it 5-6 years, something like that? And he were very, very good with Tottenham Hotspur with Gareth Bale, and You know, he's been very, very good since he's been at Real Madrid, but obviously he's an injury-prone player, and that will concern me. Just like Arjen Robben has been an injury-prone player, you know, throughout his career as well. Still a very, very good player, but obviously injury-prone as well. And I don't trust injury-prone players coming to Manchester United. And same with Luke Shaw. He's been injury prone in the past as well. You know, throughout his career, he had injury problems when he was Southampton, and he's had a few since he's come to Man United as well. Especially, he struggled to get any game time under Louis van Gaal in his first season. Struggled for it last season because he had disputes with Jose Mourinho. This season, obviously, he's getting the game time because obviously Luke Shaw and Mourinho no longer have any disputes this season, as we all currently know in the current process. But as I said, we could see quite a few players leave, as I do keep saying to you guys. Potentially, what's come out in the press, reportedly, Man United reportedly agreed 40 million, are reportedly confident of signing Alderweireld £40 million in January. I think he can bring a lot of tenacity to the club. It'd be good to come and see him experience the Manchester United facilities. Come to one of the biggest clubs in the world. Historically, we are still one of the best. You know, historically, we are the best team. You know, with more trophies we've won. It would be good to see Alderweireld, you know, fit in the Manchester United agenda. And I think he'd do very, very well. Especially, you know, Lindelof has improved. We know he's out. But I think he'd look good alongside Lindelof and all that, Toby Alderweireld, or if he's alongside Smalling or whatever. But I think he could adapt to us. I think he's highly experienced in the Premier League, and for what I've seen of him, he's very, very good defender. He can also play as a right back as well, and he is 28, 29 years old. He's Toby Alderweireld. He is tall as well. I think he is a good, calm and composed defender. But reportedly, Mourinho's had discussions with Ed Woodward and George Mendes, his representative, about, you know, the plans for the January transfer window, because it's not long now till the January transfer window opens. And reportedly, Man United number one priority target is to get Toby Alderweireld. Will cost us £40 million, as I said. So potentially Koulibaly. Mourinho said he's not too convinced about that deal because he reportedly thinks he's too expensive. But potentially Toby Alderweireld, £40 million. We're aware we can get him next summer for 25 million, you know, but Man United desperately needed a central defender, so Mourinho would rather agree it in January and just pay an extra £15 million, pay an extra £15 million, which would, you know, but would rather pay an extra £15 million rather than wait till next summer to get him for £15 million less. Of course, but Tottenham do have the option to extend his contract by a further year to Alderweireld. As I said, but Mourinho said the other week he wasn't too convinced we was going to get any top signings. As I said, but Man United Valencia preview will be coming up later. Valencia Manchester United preview will be coming up later on tonight in the evening. We're going to give you a build up towards that game as well. But yes, we know there's been talks about Mourinho leaving the club. We know that Pochettino's been mentioned. Real Madrid are also interested in Mauricio Pochettino as well. Potentially highly experienced in the Premier League. He's been in the Premier League, is it now 7 seasons? Pochettino, in terms of winning silverware as a manager, hasn't won silverware as a manager. Won a couple of honours, you know, as a player, you know, because he played as a player for 18 years. Reportedly, it said it could cost Man United £40 million to get Pochettino at the end of the season. Reportedly, it said it will cost the club to sack Mourinho. It'll cost us cheaper to sack Mourinho at the end of the season if Manchester United fail top 4, reportedly. And he's got a 5-year deal with Tottenham as Mauricio Pochettino's got a 5-year deal. Tottenham are still waiting for their new stadium. And reportedly, there has been talks that Man United could get Pochettino next season. From Pochettino's perspective, he's aware of the speculation. He potentially said that he's happy with Tottenham. He's convinced on getting the top 4 with Tottenham, and he has been at Tottenham now. Since 2014? You know, he's only spent £50 million on players as a Pochettino since 2014. As we all currently know. But do you think he'd have that winning mentality? Do you think he'd be able to command Manchester United in that position, you know, and make us compete and challenge for silverware again, you know, potentially Mauricio Pochettino, you know, next season. But potentially there has been rumours about it going on. It said it could cost Man United £40 million to get Pochettino. Obviously, he's an ex-Southampton manager. He's an ex-Espanyol manager as well. And he played for Espanyol during his playing career and began his playing career with Newell Old Boys. And, you know, he played for the two French teams, Bordeaux and Paris Saint-Germain as well. He made over 300 appearances for Espanyol as a player, so I thought he did well with Espanyol. Did Pochettino when he played for them, and he also managed them, as I currently said. But we know there has been rumours about that going on. Man United will probably have to pay 40 million. But I think Mourinho will be here till the end of the season anyway. So now the recent performance, hopefully we can build on it, bring us some confidence in, and start getting results that we desperately need, guys. As I currently said. So anyway, guys, that's it for today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. What do you think to the Alderweireld news? Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribing, as always, and there will be more live videos coming up very, very soon. So take care. God bless.